Shannon, what was your biggest takeaway from this showdown?
I told you last week for Baker Mayfield was as good as it was going to get, and you saw that 156 yards of total offense. It confirms what I already knew. Baker Mayfield isn't the guy, he's a guy. There's a difference between the two. 111 passing yards. Of games of more than 20 throws this season, the 111 passing yards was the 5th lowest of the season. So in other words, I can assure you the guys that had those type of numbers aren't the guy either. He fell back to earth. 16, kind of in line with what his QBR is, 16.2. Brought the QBR down, 23.2, which is dead last. They averaged 3 yards a play, Skip. 23 minutes time of possession. He's a guy. And I think the thing is the Rams already knew that, but they had the guys that they had street free agents. One guy got hurt. The other guy, he tries hard. But there's only so much you can do. And I think there's only so much you can do with a guy like Baker Mayfield. It would be nice, ladies and gentlemen at home, if your greatest moment, you get to live for that for the rest of your life. So he got to live off with that. Was that 2020 or 2019 when he went on that 11-game win streak? The thing that you...
Wait, you mean when he was runner-up to Rookie of the Year in his
No.
No, that was another year.
No. That's you talk about the rookie runner-up for Rookie of the Year, but what you're most pleased with is that a winning streak that they went on, and he had
the whole year, 11-5, won a playoff game for the first time since '94 with a QBR of 91.
No. His QBR was not 91. He had a QBR in a game of 91.
No, but in the playoff game it was 91 at Pittsburgh.
Yeah, but that's not his QBR over the entire season.
Well, that's as good as it gets, right?
And he never saw a moment like that again. So for me, look, it's been a very disaster season. From the way they started the season, they got, Buffalo ran through them the first game. I don't know if I've seen a defending champ get beat that bad. Maybe Kansas City did something similar, very similar to New England one year. But the Rams are where they are, 6-10 right now. They got 10 losses. They tied the 99 Broncos for the most losses in a season after a Super Bowl win. But we had a reason. TD tore his knee in Game 3. I broke my collarbone in Game 4. Elway John had retired. Steve Atwater had left via free agency. So we were a different team. There's no excuse for them. They're not a different team. We were a much different team.
The Rams are a different team right now?
They are now, but they weren't at the beginning of the season.
Okay, all right.
Go ahead.
Okay, you done?
Yeah.
Oh, good. My turn. Thank you. Okay, so let's frame what happened last night when predictably Baker had a long night, because if we look back at what he did do when he walked in the door 48 hours before he played against the Raiders on Thursday Night Football, his team had lost 6 straight games because it has lost Cooper Kupp for the year. It has lost Allen Robinson, I guess, for the year. It has now lost Aaron Donald, I guess, for the year.
Yeah.
It was pathetic. 6 straight games they had lost playing a team that had won 3 in a row and now has won 4 out of 5, the Las Vegas Raiders.
Right.
And that night, now you look back and it underscores and actually validates that it was the most amazing quarterback game of the year. Nobody's played a game like that under that circumstance with that degree of difficulty, and he lit up the Raiders and threw the walk-off touchdown pass. And then all of a sudden you have to go to Green Bay where they are on a bye and they still are playing for something because they're hanging right in there at 6-8 for an NFC wild card. And yet here comes Aaron Rodgers against an offensive line that is a disaster. And what, Mr. Sharpe, happened on the opening drive to Baker Mayfield's offense? They lose the one quality lineman that they had left, who is their starting center, Brian Allen, who pulls a calf muscle on the first possession that they have, pulls his calf muscle, and all of a sudden they have to move the undrafted right guard to center. And I don't know if you watch closely, but I did, because Baker's doing this most of the night, or he's doing this most of the night on shotgun snaps. It's up here, or it's down here.
Skip.
It's up here, or it's down here.
The man's only 2 feet tall. He can't get it in the center of his chest all the time.
Right. This has to be the worst offensive line in football. And by the way, Baker Mayfield last night was under pressure 36% of the snaps, which is the second most in any NFL game this entire season. So at Green Bay, in weather, I think that it went into single digits by the end of the game. I think it was like 8 or 9 degrees.
Okay.
What do you think's going to happen to that team without even
Is
Aaron
he that
Donald?
guy?
Yeah, he is that guy, because all he did, all you have to know about Baker Mayfield is he was runner-up Rookie of the Year as a rookie when he won 7 games for a team that went 0-16. And then he had another year in which he went 11-5, but went on a roll at the end of the year with 20 touchdowns, only 3 interceptions over the last 11 games, and went to Pittsburgh against the arch rival and beat them in a big playoff game for the Cleveland Browns. That's all you have to know. He had 2 very good years in Cleveland. So now he went to the clown show, Carolina Panthers, and now what's left of the Los Angeles Rams on Monday Night Football at Green Bay when they're coming off a bye. This is what's going to happen. But the truth is, I thought Baker, under the circumstances, played pretty well in the first half. I don't know, maybe. That. Well, would I? I'll demonstrate it to you if you'll let me.
Sure.
Okay, so 12:56 left. Here we are early in the game, in the first quarter. It's 3rd and 15 at his 30-yard line. 3rd and 15 at his 30, and he steps right up and throws a rifle shot to Van Jefferson for 17 yards. That's 3rd and 15. Not that simple.
It is very simple. No pressure. The guy was wide open.
Okay. He had to step up through the pass rush to make that throw. Then I'll get to Aaron Rodgers' interception in a minute. But here we came back, and now we get to the final drive of the half when it's still just a 10-3 football game. And if we can see what happens, the first one's 3rd and 4 at the Rams' 41-yard line. And he goes to Atwell. That was nice, though. That's 3rd and 4, so that was clutch. So you save that one, but now you get backed up to 3rd and 13 at your 48. 3rd and 13, and guess what he does again? 3rd and 13. I think I'm going to throw another rope. Oh, wait, it's to Van Jefferson again for 15 more yards on 3rd and forever at Green Bay on Monday Night Football. And now we get to the play of the game for Baker Mayfield, which is 2nd and 10 at the Green Bay 37. 2nd 10 at 37. There's just a minute left in the first half. You're only down 10-3 at this point, and he hits Tutu Atwell right in the hands with another rifle shot right over the middle of the field. And I don't know if he catches that kid Rudy Ford, who picked off Dak twice, he might have a shot, but Tutu can scoot. So I don't know. If he comes up cleanly with it, I just think he might have scored. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? We would have had a 10-10 game, maybe at halftime, because now we're under a minute left. I don't know. I thought Baker played a pretty good first half, and then when they fell behind in the second half, all he had to do was throw every single time, and they were all over him because they are teeing off. And if we could see the one interception, well, let's do the touchdown pass first. He did manage to lead them out of halftime 70 yards in 6 plays. 70 yards in 6 plays. And faces a 3rd and goal at the 8-yard line and hits Tyler Higbee with the touchdown pass. So look, I'm giving you a bunch of 3rd down plays, like 3rd and difficult, 3rd and forever, 3rd and unmanageable.
He was so in other words, he converted all those on what? On a couple of drives? Because he was 4 of 11. Yeah. So how many 3rd downs did he actually convert? That's 36%.
I just gave you 4. I showed you 4.
All 4 of them. So what about the 7 that he didn't get?
They're all big. Well, he's getting sacked.
Okay.
So then we've got the interception that I mentioned. It's 3rd and 13. You're backed up at the 10, and he tries to step up through the crazed rush.
And tripped over his own foot.
Yeah.
His own foot.
And Kenny Clark hits his arm.
No, Kenny Clark ain't touched his arm. His left foot.
No, he hit his arm. He hit his arm as he was throwing.
No, I didn't see that. And then Rasul Douglas thought he was in a New England Raiders game.
Yeah. And Skoranek, who was the star of the Raiders game, I'm looking at him, and he got 3 targets, got 1 ball for 3 yards, and he just lit up the Raiders, so that was a problem. I guess the Green Bay Packers had a bye week to say, well, we're going to take Skoranek away. Not Cooper Kupp, not Allen Robinson, Skoranek. We're going to take Skoranek away?
Skip Bayless, ladies and gentlemen, Skip showed you 3 completions that he had early in the game. One was for 15, one was for 8, the other was for 15. So by my math, that's 38 yards. So that's 3 completions. Now, he only completed 12 passes. So now, after that, he had 9 completions for 73 yards.
And I don't know why they didn't throw more down the field, but the problem is you don't have time. You don't have time. And he did get he launched 1 deep ball.
Bubblegum Baker can't throw the ball down the field.
Okay. Well, again, I don't know how he was the runner-up for Rookie of the Year, but he was.
So let me ask you a question. So since when is America runner-up good? Who wants to be runner-up to Miss America? Who wants to be runner-up for the President of the United States? Who wants to be runner-up for the CEO?
Well,
you either get the job, the top spot, or you don't.
The point is, just a guy isn't runner-up for Rookie of the Year. Just a guy doesn't do that.
guess what?
Is that as good as it gets? Or was maybe the 11-5 year, was that as good as it gets? Or wait a minute, maybe it was the Raider game. Maybe that was as good as it gets.
So let me ask you a question. So Baker Mayfield has been the only runner-up for Rookie of the Year. Oh, let me guess. There've been 80 runner-ups.
I know, but you just dismissed him as just a guy.
He is.
You can't be just a guy when you're runner-up for Rookie of the Year.
Let me ask you a question. He's the #1 draft pick overall. But if you measure him by the #1 draft pick, he's got to get a team to the Super Bowl. He must end up in the Hall of Fame. He needs to win an MVP.
Okay.
So one of those three things, if not all three, needs to happen.
Okay.
What are the chances they happen?
All right. If Matt Stafford doesn't come back, and I think that's a possibility, then all of a sudden you have a coach who actually believes in you, who loves you, who you trust to call the right plays to put you in the right positions. Don't let him get a healthy offensive line in front of him. Don't let him get a healthy Cooper Kupp that he can rely on as a security blanket. Don't let him get Allen Robinson back, because all of a sudden, and if Aaron Donald does come back, I never know about that. He talks about retirement every other year. But if they get healthier on defense, then, hey, could he go play? Sure, he can go play.
No. He's not going to win MVP. He's not taking you to a Super Bowl. He's not going to the Hall of Fame. So by those estimations, and that's how you measure a #1 overall draft pick, those things, especially at the quarterback position, those are the things that need to happen. So what are the likelihood any of those three, if not all three of those things, happen for Baker Mayfield?
With Sean McVay, pretty likely to me.
What?
Yeah. I love the fit. It's perfect. They are birds of a feather.
Everything is perfect for Baker. That's the problem, Skip. Great #1.
Everybody needs some help. You know, you gotta be in some situation.
That's not what you said. You said perfect. He needs everything perfect. Well, that's not a #1 overall pick then. #1 overall picks should be able to function, not all the time, in less than ideal situations. If it's not perfect, if Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt didn't run for 1,000 yards, Baker Mayfield was very average. Did you see what happened when they couldn't run the football? He couldn't throw the football. Even with that offensive line, even with those two great running backs, he's a guy.
Okay, and he hadn't had any help running the football either game that he's played for the Rams. And I think he's played pretty well. And I think Sean McVay is saying, give me an offseason with this guy, and I can do some things.
You do realize, like, the running game and the passing game go hand in hand. I mean, the running game is saying, hell, we can't get no help for the quarterback because they don't respect it.
What do you think is going to happen if you get thrown into the fire with a team that's lost 6 straight games, a team that went to Green Bay as a 7-point dog?
Well, how many games? I mean, how many games they do won the last 2 years? So I think it's a match made in hell. They can't win. He can't win. You put those two things together, you get no winning.
Okay, and then back to another quarterback that you have loved and loved and loved until lately on the show.
No. The quarterback is not the issue. It's the person that plays the quarterback that I got a problem with. Okay. I got no problem with the quarterback. The quarterback is a hell of a player.
He's not having a very good year. Now he's got 10 interceptions, and that's the
most in a very long time.
Since 2011.
Yeah.
2011, third most of his career. And if we could see the interception he threw early in the game that I thought might just get the Rams revved up and back in the game, this is pretty awful. I don't see this guy do this very often.
He is dealing with a thumb injury, right?
I guess so. So he's got the thumb issue in the excuse, right?
Right. But this is what I don't know. I mean, think about what you just said. You said the guy's not playing well. Everybody is not playing well except the guy in Tampa. He's playing unbelievable given the circumstances.
Well, this isn't about him.
No, but I'm just saying. Yeah. So, hold on. Aaron Rodgers, he loses Jenkins, one of his best offensive linemen. He loses Bakhtiari, one of his best offensive linemen. Aaron Jones misses a game. Dylan went out of the game last night. That's the thing. When somebody isn't playing well, you have no problem saying somebody isn't playing well. You harped on that last year with Patrick Mahomes. He had a down year. By his estimations, he had a down year. Even though the man...
He did have statistically, every category was down. Every single category.
So let me get it straight.
Across the board.
So let me ask you a question. So he threw for 4,800 yards and 37 touchdowns. He had a down year. What are the likelihood Tom Brady throws for 37 touchdowns when he only have 20 with 3 games to go? Right. So is he having a down year?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure he is.
Okay.
But everything around him is no good.
Everything around him is no good. So how great is it around Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay? Is it great?
No, but listen, I'll take those 2 kid receivers, and I wish my team had drafted Romeo Doubs because he's sitting right there on the table. And for once, Dallas screwed up in the draft because they took Jalen Tolbert, and it looks like he was a swing and a miss.
I don't
Romeo
know.
Doubs can flat play.
He can play. And the Watson kid, he's come on like gangbusters. Now, I remember a time when you loved Chris Godwin. You loved Mike Evans. Now, all of a sudden, your guy isn't playing well. We blame everybody else except the guy that's not playing well.
Okay. Well, again, there's no Gronk, there's no AB. Julio was supposed to replace AB, and he hadn't been available the whole year. What is he supposed to do with that?
Patrick Mahomes seemed to be doing just fine without Tyreek.
Okay. All I heard after the Super Bowl, in which Patrick Mahomes was a bust. He just looked abominable.
What about
and you say, oh, he didn't have any protection. Okay. What happened to Brady's offensive line? He lost 4 starters, and the one that he kept was the weakest link. This is horrible.
He's the second least sacked quarterback in the NFL. I think he's either first or second, but he and Jared Goff, I think one is like 16, 17, the other's like 17. So I forget, I didn't get a chance to, but I know
he got hit a season high 7 times at San Francisco, and a season high tying 7 times against Cincinnati the other day.
And he played a season high bad, and he played another. Every game he's played, it's been a season high in badness.
Okay, but not against Cincinnati, because the first half was by far the best half.
But like you tell me, in the game 4 quarters.
Okay, yes, it is,
Okay.
and he played his worst third quarter or any quarter of the season to follow the best first half.
So if I combine his first half along with the second half in the third quarter, you would say by far that was his worst game, correct?
No. I would not. Why would I say that's his worst game?
Of the 4 consecutive turnovers? No, the ball didn't get tipped. The ball, he didn't get strip sacked. He turned the ball over 4 times. He did that.
I thought we were talking about Aaron Rodgers here.
But my thing was, you said he's not playing well, and that was a horrible interception, and I'm just giving you the correlation between the two.
Well, what I saw the rest of the night was I saw a young football coach in Matt LaFleur, who once upon a time said no to Aaron Rodgers during an NFC Championship game at Lambeau against Tom Brady, and he said no to him mostly the rest of the way last night after he threw the pick. It's mostly, let's just run the football.
Well, I mean, they were running the ball. I mean, look at Aaron Jones. He was averaging 5.3 a carry. He had 17 carries for 90 yards. 35 for buck 38. Now, it's not the greatest yards per carry, but it was enough to keep them off of Aaron Rodgers, and that's what you want to do. Sometimes you just need to run the football so guys just don't pin their ears back and come get your quarterback.
I would say, but they went ahead and ran it much more than they threw it, right?
Well, that seems to be, Skip. That seems to. Wouldn't you love for the Bucs to run it more than they throw it so they can stay off Tom Brady with that offensive line? You say the offensive line isn't very good.
Well, it's not very good, and they're dead last in rushing, and they stay dead last in rushing, and they've been from start to finish dead last in rushing.
Our playoff Lenny got off the season against your Cowboys for $127.
Okay, but right away they just fell off.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's not. But
that was against my Cowboys.
Yeah, but that's not how they built their team. They didn't build their team to run the football. You don't get Tom Brady to go run the football. You get Tom Brady and you surround him with receivers. You try to protect him and let him throw the football. Aaron Rodgers. The mere fact the man has double-digit interceptions lets you know he has not played up to Aaron Rodgers. He's the reigning 2-time MVP. So by his standards, he hasn't played well. But with those young receivers, and I think Tanyan has another year removed from that injury, if Bakhtiari and Jenkins can come back and can stay healthy, they could be a major player, because I still think he can spin the ball with the best of them.
Okay, and yet they still think they have a real shot sitting at 6-8, and they're chasing, obviously, the Commanders and the Lions and the Seahawks, right?
Yes.
Okay, and yet they're still playing for something, and the team that you ridicule, that they go up there, what do they have to play for? They just want to get out of
a job.
A cold. Just get me out of here.
You do realize these are the games that they really critique. Who's quit on us? Who can we count on? And trust me, they're great. They're going to evaluate these players, because it tells me more in a situation like this. Everybody go play hard when you front running, because they want to get an opportunity to get a slice of the pie too. But when you have nothing to play for, you're getting beat, it's cold, can you still summon it up to go out there and give me that effort? Because the eye in the sky don't lie. It doesn't care if you're making $20 million or $500,000.
Yeah, the eye in the sky last night just closed in the second half. It said, I can't watch this anymore.
Who is that number 17 for the Rams? Yeah. He is some trash. That was his eye in the sky said. Yeah.
Interesting.
Now, what was Troy saying about Baker? Because I don't know how to sign it. What did he say? You know, Troy gonna tell it like a TIST is.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't want to try to characterize what Troy said.
Was it good?
Yeah. It wasn't bad.
It wasn't good.
Well, he thought he was hanging in there.
Hanging in there, huh?
Yeah.
That what you do to a jacket. He'll hang that up.
Again, the second worst pressure rate of the year that any quarterback's been under. Every time I looked up, he's trying to catch it up here, catch it down there.
You make it seem like
no, it was every other play. Here, there, and then he tries to play it, and it's like duck, dodge. I'm getting crushed. They were coming from everywhere.
That man had a 16.2 QBR.
Yeah.
That was one less than his jersey number. At least, if you're a quarterback and you can't get your jersey number, what kind of bull job is that?
I just showed you a bunch of good throws that he made.
And guess what, Skip?
Yeah.
That was the first drive.
And if Tutu Atwell catches that ball that hit him right in the hands, we might be having a little different conversation. We might be having a Raiders conversation.
Really, Skip?
Yes, really.
Really?
Well, it could have been tied at halftime, and then all of a sudden, the pressure goes back on the home team, right?
So you really to take Baker Mayfield head up against Aaron Rodgers?
No, I'm not taking him over Aaron Rodgers, obviously. Aaron Rodgers is one of the all-time greats.
Yeah.
He's just a choke artist when it really matters.
See, we ain't talking about
the all-time playoff choke artist.
We're not talking about the playoffs. We're talking about regular season.
Okay. Well, I just saw him have back-to-back number one seeds and lose a home playoff.
It happens.
And stink. Stink both times.
That's not what we're talking about. That's not what we're talking about.
We get to talk about Tom Brady, so now we come back and we talk about Aaron Rodgers. At least he played last night. Brady didn't even play last night.
Why we got to talk about this playoff? Well, we ain't bringing up no playoffs.
Yeah, and I'm not writing off Tom Brady just yet.
You're not writing him off?
For this year, I'm not writing them off.
You think they win a playoff game?
Yet. I think they got a real shot. Unfortunately, they might be playing my team.
They got another booster shot available?
Yeah, they got one.
Oh, okay. Well, I need to go get it then, because you keep on talking about all these shots out here. Maybe you know something I don't.
All right. Here we go.
Yeah, here we go.
Speaking of being possible, guys, Packers have now won 2 in a row, and it is still possible they could sneak into the playoffs. All right, coming up next, Skip, you alluded to it at the top of the show. Jalen Hurts, that shoulder injury. How is that going to impact the Eagles this upcoming week? Plus, Shannon, is LeBron hiding how much power he has with the Lakers front office?
He ain't got no power.
We're going to dive into that and a whole lot more on the other side of the
player,
screen.
all right.
Thanks for watching, Undisputed fans. Subscribe here to get the very latest from Skip and Shannon. Plus, go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.